Welcome back to the Bonsai-En YouTube channel. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be discussing cut putties, cut pastes, and what the differences are. Okay, so something that you learn when you own a bonsai shop is that there's a lot of products out there in confusion, and people don't really know what to buy or what brand to get or anything like that. So with this video today, I'm going to go over one of the most common things that I hear, which is what are the difference between cut pastes and cut putties, and even what are the differences between the different cut pastes and the different cut putties. So I'm going to start with the cut putties. I've got two different types here. As you can see, we've got the green lid and the white lid. And basically all this means with this particular cut putty is this one is for conifers and evergreens, and this one here is for deciduous trees. Now, the only difference between the two is, and I'll take these lids off and show you, the makeup of the cut putty is the same, but as you can see, they're two different colors. For the conifers and evergreens, they generally have a darker trunk, so we have a darker cut paste. With deciduous trees, we generally have a lighter coloured trunk, so we have a lighter coloured cut putty. So that's really the only difference between the two. Cut putties do contain different hormones. Some of them have fungicides and pesticides in them to help with the healing process. You just have to read the description of wherever you're buying these things from. All this stuff is available from Bonsai-En. Before I explain the difference between the two, I'll move on to cut paste, and then we'll come back and talk about what the different applications are. So over here, as you can see, we do have some cut paste. Unfortunately, this one looks a bit worse for wear because this is my personal one out of my toolbox. At the time of filming this video, we've just run out of stock of this particular brand, but we do have more on the way. But basically, we've got this here, as you can see, there's no brand or label or anything on it. So this is a no-name cut paste from China. And basically, it doesn't have any healing properties in it, no hormones, fungicides, pesticides, those things. This is probably as cheap as you get. You're probably only looking at about $8 for a tube of this. And it is basically just a protectant from moisture. And that's all it really is. It dries really dark, it's quite black. But like with most products, you get what you pay for, but there is a cheaper alternative available. This is quite a popular brand. This is actually called Charismate. Some people refer to it as Calismate. I'm not sure where that term come from, but it's actually called Charismate. But yes, this is really popular among professionals in Japan and worldwide. It is a little bit more expensive. And then this is another really popular one too that's sold by Kikua. And then the same with this one just here as well. So these are just all different ones. This one's a little bit more expensive. The main differences between these two, even though they're made by the same manufacturer, is this one here has an applicator head. So you cut this yourself. Generally you would cut it on an angle, and then it just allows you to get into more confined areas and apply the cut paste a lot better. And also too, this one has all your fungicides and pesticides and everything in it. So this is a really top-notch cut paste. Now, the differences between cut paste and cut putty. It's pretty simple. With a cut paste, it's runny, and if you've got a break in a branch, a fracture, a crack, or just a full-on split, a cut paste will actually be able to seep and run into that and seal it up and keep moisture out of it. And it's funny because you're trying to actually do two things at once, and it sounds contradicting, but you're trying to keep moisture out of the wound and you're trying to keep moisture in the wound. Now, I know that sounds really stupid, but bear with me for a second. So basically you don't want the inside of that branch to completely dry out and not move moisture or nutrients or anything like that. So you're trying to seal in the moisture within the cambium of the branch. But also what you're trying to do is seal that and keep the moisture out from external. So you're trying to keep the rain and everything out, because lots of excess rain and moisture will actually rot it out. So even though it sounds stupid, you're trying to keep the stuff in while trying to keep the stuff out. And by stuff, I mean moisture. So that's where cut paste really comes in handy, is it's able to be worked in to cracks and crevices and all that kind of thing. Your cut putties, on the other hand, are more for surface type wounds. So if you cut a branch off flush up against a trunk, then it's good to be able to come in with the cut putty and just be able to apply it almost like a band-aid, just straight over that cut site, and the hormones and the healing properties within the putty, I should say, will actually help that wound heal quicker and more flush. Now, I used the deciduous one last spring on, it was probably a cut about this round on a trident maple, and it is mostly healed over already. Come into our next spring season, I'll just have to get my grafting knife and then go around that healing area, or the callus, I should say, and reactivate it, put some more of this on, and I reckon in 2 seasons, that's going to be completely healed over. So this stuff really does work. I have heard of people using things like Vegemite and blue tack and wood glue and all kinds of crazy things, but those things, although they would help seal out the moisture, they're definitely not going to have the healing properties and the rapid healing that these do. So as I said, this stuff is available from Bonsai-En. I'll leave a link down in the description below, but that is the basics behind what the difference between a cut putty and a cut paste is, and the different types that are on the market. Until next time, enjoy your bonsai journey.